Hey, we're back. Derek Parker. I've taken the last few weeks to recharge after a really hectic postseason and draft season, but this video officially marks the start of the 2026 draft cycle. That doesn't mean we're done with 25. I think draft coverage, typically for me at least, ends after the rookie season, so we'll have plenty of time to keep touching on 25 prospects. But this is an exciting time. It's like stepping into a whole new frontier after pretty thoroughly exploring the one before. I'm not a guy who's able to look too far ahead. I think I've said that before on this channel, but I respect anyone that can keep up with 2036 prospects, but I'm not one of those guys. It is information overload. I can barely handle the current class and covering the current NBA in its entirety, so I usually stick with just one class at a time. So while I've seen some stuff on these guys, McDonald's All-American game, some highlights here and there, this really is truly my first look at some of these prospects. It'll be AJ Dybantsa today, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer a little bit down the line, and then the rest of these 2026 guys, which I'm excited to look into. And the first one, as I touched on, is AJ Dybantsa, a 6'9" forward with a 7-foot wingspan. He's been on draft radars for a few different prep teams for a while now. He was the FIBA U19 World Cup MVP. For most experts, the 2026 class is set to be one of the best we've seen in years. Obviously, I have not watched enough to weigh in on that, but when this many NBA executives and this many NBA draft experts are weighing in, I tend to believe the hype, and Dybantsa is a huge part of that. He's set to go to BYU next season on one of the biggest NIL deals ever, I believe. And again, prototypical size, pedigree, all the fun stuff. The reason I've started with Dybantsa is out of the three major prospects, him, Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, I tend to feel the best about this archetype over the other two based purely on like the simple rundown scouting report and a handful of clips. But we'll obviously have ample time to scout these guys and so on. So without further ado, let's jump into some film. All right, we've got AJ Dybantsa's scoring highlights loaded up. This is just his Utah prep 2s and 3s. We're just going to work through this. We might get to defense and passing later, but Dybantsa's been heralded as one of the better scorers over the last decades, at least at the preps level. So we're going to see what the hype is about. This is probably what I'm most interested in at this point. Let's go ahead and run it. I'm excited to dive into some film. This will be the first time in a while I've watched some film on a player that I know relatively little about. Starting out with the bang. Pull up 3 in transition. Love it. Form looked smooth. Based off what I've read, I don't believe he is a high 3-point volume kind of guy, but he seems to have a 3-level scoring package, so that's a great move there and probably somewhat encapsulates what kind of prospect we're dealing with here. I mean, this guy is 6'9". Look at the range of mobility, the fluidity at which he plays with here. Get a behind the back dribble. Some decent burst and acceleration by what seems to be a fairly speedy defender. And then, I mean, jumps out of his boots here with the finish. Coming off screen, rises high for the pull-up 3. Talks a little bit to the bench. Yeah, I mean, the shot looks decent. I don't know that he's necessarily knocking down 10 threes a game, but at his size and with the downhill attack that he's going to have, probably going to be a pretty decent weapon in his arsenal. Then he gets into the mid-range there. Recognizes that he's got a smaller defender on him, backs him down, rises high. The release is so high, he's so tall that these contests really don't matter. Sinks it. Yeah, I mean, right here he kind of uses these micro moves is what I call them. I have no idea if that's a real thing or not, but that's what I call them, where he's kind of probing the defender to see what the feet do when he has certain jabs or fakes going certain directions. Jabs to the right. Kind of already had him in the air because of the potential shot. Keeps the dribble alive. Gets into the mid-range for another high-rising midi. A player at this size, and again, that's just what jumps out to me most about it, even in these few early clips and from what I've seen of Dybantsa so far, is just the level of coordination that he has, the fact that he's got both horizontal and vertical athleticism, but is quick and twitchy enough to have stuff like this in his bag. With a high-rising jumper, decent feel and instincts. That's pro-level stuff. That kind of stuff just does not come around often in prospects. Obviously, I mean, he's the #1 player in the world in his class. Shows off the bounce there. That's a pretty good look at the form there. Steps back. He's got a little bit of a load up. I think that left hand is a little bit on top of the ball. But other than that, I mean, shoots with confidence, lets it fly. And again, he's 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, high release. That does most of the legwork. Little 2-footed jump there, two-handed dunk. Seems to be his go-to. Just another one of those, what I would consider micro moves that I think really the most elite scorers in the world have. Dribbles with the left here, kind of baiting him into thinking he's going left before going with the spin move. Re-spinning, keeping that pivot foot down and going for the jam. That's nasty stuff, dude. This is stuff that a lot of really potent NBA scorers still can't do, at least at this size. Here's kind of another look at his athleticism. Decent first step there. Obviously, the defender shades under here, but that's still a quick step off the bounce. Gets him a little bit more in position to make a play. Then he's got a decel here at the end where he kind of slows down, rises for a touch finish there. Just seems like he's got a lot of options in his bag, and he's not necessarily doing anything with this handle that's like otherworldly. Like everything we're seeing here is pretty straightforward to the point, but his combination of tools, be it the length, the fluidity, the coordination, somewhat the speed at his size, it's just a little bit too much, especially for these high school defenders to deal with. And I think that'll probably be the case at BYU as well. I know the jump to Big 12 play is going to be probably a tough one, but he seems to have all the tools in his toolkit to be successful at the college level. And then additionally, in the pro level, he'll only get better. And that's what makes a guy with this level of coordination so special, is that this is him at 18. I mean, he's doing these things with perfect, impeccable footwork and fluid mobility that most guys this size look like this at 25. So what is he going to look like at 25? These are the questions. And this is ultimately what makes him, I mean, the top prospect in the world. Cookies. Jam. Looks to get out in transition quite a bit. I think obviously based on the size and the athleticism, he'll be able to play finish. I'll be curious to see how much he's used on ball in the pick and roll. What's his decision making like? Will he be used in isolation? Is the handling good enough to where he'll be able to create off the dribble like this? We'll see. It's just another one of those plays where he's not doing anything awe-inspiring with the handle. I mean, he is keeping it in the left, straight line dribble drive into space, recognizes there's a pocket in the paint, kind of overpowers him and gets the slam. That stuff maybe not going to rear its head as much at the college level, or especially the pro level. Whew. Okay. This is crazy. Gets the matchup he wants with the screen. Drives right. Obviously kind of digs that shoulder in with the spin move. To take that step, to get 7 to 8 feet post spin move and rise for the clean finish. I'll let this one play out, but that is an insane level of coordination right there. Ooh, and then to follow it up with a transition jab step three-pointer, he might have the goods. I know that's crazy to say about the #1 ranked prospect in the world, but he might just, oh my good gravy. Look at the ground covered on that spin move. We get a crossover to the right, plant not soon after that, and then he's going from like one step from the three-point line to the middle of the court for a high rising jumper over a pretty tall player. Doesn't matter. Release is too high. Splash. Gotta see that one again. Crossover, spin move, splash. Jeez, dude. And again, not to just keep spamming this clip over and over, but this is unguardable. Like, I don't care if it's the DPOY. I don't care if it's a Men Thompson out there. Like, you're not getting to this contest. Even if you take the body contact, shuffle your feet, and end up in front of him, this is simply too high of a release, too pure of a release to contest. So That's ultimately probably why Dybantsa is looked at as the offensive prospect he is. And the prospect he is in general is he's doing pro level things at 18 years old already. Wicked stuff. Wicked stuff, man. That hypes me up. This play right here is an example of one of those kind of micro moves working out. Takes the jab right, gets the defender well out of position. Probably should just drive the ball here. I think he probably had a lane, but instead opts for the step back fader. Doesn't really matter though. Being 6'9" and getting a defender that out of position with one simple kind of head fake, pump fake, really impressive. Pretty simple transition here, 3, confident shot, knocks it down quick. Also, I don't know if this is just the video or what, but these jersey combinations are a nightmare. Dark gray versus black is wild. But yeah, another decent look at the mechanics there. I think the energy transfer is good, really good about getting his entire body into it. Starts with the legs. Big load up, follow through, clean. You can tell he's already been working with NBA level shot specialists. Coming off screen here. Is he going to pull up? Yes, sir. Splash. I mean, the fact that he's already coming off of a screen here, recognizing he's got space versus that drop defender, rising high and letting it fly, that gives me confidence enough already that he's going to be able to shoot the ball to some degree and potentially even be a really potent 3-level scorer. Same thing there. I mean, he recognizes he's got smaller defender on him. Sizes him up, takes the shot, high rising, knocks it down. Little putback action there. That's another thing. I know that 3-level scoring forwards are all the rage, and Dybantsa is going to have ample opportunity as the on-ball scorer pretty much everywhere he goes. But as a small forward, you're still going to be expected to do some of the grimy in-the-mud things. Rebounding, tough defense, cutting, things like that. So curious to see what just his general motor's like. Obviously, you can't really tell from high school clips, but his time at BYU will be telling. Great clip there. His ability to keep the dribble alive on some of these plays. Not even the dribble. It's again those just long strides. He picks the ball up here. That stride he takes gets him around 2 defenders for a pretty touchy finish. It's great stuff, man. That's just not stuff that even college or pro level defenders are going to be ready for. That's about as good a look at the touch as you're going to get right there. 6'9", leaping in the air. Little love tap to see it through. Great stuff. Gets the board, looking up in transition. Hits the burners, 2-step hop, and the finish. I mean, he's going full speed. Hits the gather, 2 quick steps, and up in the air already. Look at the coach's reaction. Let me get out of the way. I promise there's no one on your bench that can defend him, buddy. That is nuts. Whoa. Pull up J off the deflection is crazy. Bad pass, gets the tip, 1 huge bounce, and just right into the shot for him. Here's another look at some perimeter prowess. I mean, this is textbook NBA stuff. Gets the screen, tiny bit of space, high-rising jumper, sinks it. And the better he gets from the perimeter, the more it's going to make his downhill attack that much better. As we see there, I mean, he just takes the entire team out of the play. He's got a defender on his hip. The rip through gets 1, gets 2. Another defender crashing in, can't get there, too big, too athletic. Takes the entire team out of it. This one guy back here, standing and watching, said, I want no part of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter. 2 points. Absolutely teleports. He's right here, top of the key. 1/1000, under the rim. Like I said, I know it's crazy to hype up the #1 player in the world, but basketball stuff like this is just so fun to watch. Oh, he's feeling himself now. How many jumps was that in one play? Jump on the inbound, jump directly after. Jump on the shot, splash. Stuff like this is like a little Jabari Smith Jr., Ace Bailey-esque, but when you add in the fact that he's got like a Brandon Miller level handle at 18 with so much time to get more coordinated, more polished overall, like, dude, scary stuff. I'm sure he doesn't probably shoot the ball at as good a clip as those guys did in high school. I wouldn't imagine, but to have this capability still in your back pocket when you're mostly going to be driving and slashing is pretty impressive. Again, just absurd ground coverage. This is all in the air, by the way. Another rip through. There's the step, 2 steps. Takes that middle of the paint. Gets all the way under for the finish and lands under the rim. Here is Dybantsa going coast to coast again. I'll be curious to see how he fares through contact. I know right now, really he's avoiding it mostly with the fact that his first step is great. He's getting defenders behind him. He's so long, so athletic. He's really not dealing with it a ton. And even when he is, he's just so much stronger. I'll be curious to see how he deals with collegiate physicality and finishing through that contact. He might just be the same there. It might not faze him much, but probably just kind of something to watch for as we watch him at BYU, where I would imagine he thrives. That's a 5-out system. Should be somewhat tailor-made to his strengths, so we'll see. I'm excited for his season there. Here we go. Montverde. He ran that like a fullback drill. 2 hands on the ball. Going down the paint. Nice finish. His footwork is so naturally impeccable. Like, I'm sure this is something he works on constantly. Again, I'm sure he's already got NBA level trainers working with him every day, but this is like effectively a blown play. And he still manages to just get into like a perfect 1-2, line the body up, clean motion 3-point shot. You can kind of tell when he wants to get into that spin move. Like, there was hesitation left, crossover. There was basically no chance he's getting around this guy here. Digs the shoulder in, fights for some positioning, and spins. And again, look at the ground coverage. There's probably 6 feet in between his 2 feet right now. Easy dunk, effortless. One more time. Pretty clean transition bucket here. Maybe a little bit predetermined. It seems like that's maybe one of a few really, really small issues. Obviously, he's a great prospect, but one of a few small issues right now. He seems a little predetermined in some of the things, some of the ways he gets into his shots. Obviously, this is not a terrible shot. Knows he has the defender on his heels. Probably has driven the ball a few times at this point already, but just a small qualm. Yeah, I mean, here gets bailed out a little bit with the goaltend, but you can see him actively probing this defender for areas of weakness and ways through. Jabs, knows that he follows, goes back, jabs again, finally gets him off, and then takes him to the right. Like, didn't end up working out great in terms of shot quality, but knows what he's doing in terms of positioning himself as a scorer. Another good look at the mechanics. Again, pretty good energy transfer in total. Works bottom to top. I still think, I know it's like 140p quality, but I still think that left hand's maybe a little bit too on top of the ball, but nice flick of the wrist, nice follow through. No real major qualms. I would bet the numbers are pretty solid. At least in like the flag range. And Cooper Flagg, I mean, probably not as good of an offensive prospect at this point in their careers. Still managed 20.5 points at Duke. I'd be shocked if Dybantsa averaged more than 20 points, but he still might look like the better offensive prospect based on a year at BYU. Wouldn't shock me. Just a little more fluid with the ball in his hands. Seemed to have a little more twitch. Probably plays with a little less physicality, but a little bit more of the suave that maybe modern scorers have than Cooper Flagg. Holy. This defender decides to cut off the right. Probably rightfully so. Much easier basket or wraparound pass. Forces him left. I mean, this is full speed. He's going full speed. That's about as fast as you can be going downhill dribbling. 2-foot jump stop, completely decelerates and gets a circus finish. Let me tell you, if I was going that fast and 2-foot jump stop, my knees would explode. You would be taking me to a regional hospital. That's just pro athlete stuff, dude. Bang, both ACLs. You would be calling my emergency contact. Gentleman dunk. One of the more respectful dunks you'll see. Watch a few more and then switch over to defense. Maybe a little bit of passing and then we'll get out of here. Oh my gosh. Dude, they've got like 3 Derek Parker sized players. Oh my gosh. Dude, that kid is 5'7". Oh my god. Hold the phone, dude. Watch number 23 in white decelerate when he realizes he should make a business decision. Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm going to save these guys from more highlights. I'm going to jump over to defense, and then we'll do a little bit of passing. Not going to take this stuff at like absolute face value. I mean, high school defense, who knows what kind of competition we're playing here. He's going to be bigger, faster, stronger than absolutely everybody. That's a great example literally right there. This is not a phenomenal defensive play. Kind of gets hedged off the screen there, a step behind, but this guy is not very tall. And so instead, Dybantsa ends up making the play here. But still, I mean, he's going to have the potential to do these things at the college level, at the pro level, just due to his size, athleticism, things like that. Now, this is an exciting play. This at least gives a hint towards the motor. Defending 2 different players, hard closeout, looks to be communicating, sticks with him, blocks the shot. These are the things you like to see, even if the competition's not great. I mean, he's early in a game, first quarter, hustling around, trying to make the right play. That I can respect. That I can give some brownie points to, even if it is high school film review. Same thing here. I mean, point of attack defense in the first quarter. Sliding his feet. Fighting over a screen. Huge step to get the reject. Takes the contact here, gets bumped, but I mean, that step is gnarly. Can't talk enough about how much ground he covers just as a player on both sides of the ball. Fighting over another screen, same thing. Chasing his man off ball. Ooh, fights through the hard off ball screen. Attentive and aware enough to get the block in help. I mean, if you're getting this level of effort from him, even if he is you're a leading scorer and not able to put out this much energy on defense, like, that's going to be a great player. Just because, again, the tools that he's working with, gets the switch, takes a swipe, misses, guy drives left, immediately flips to the hips, shuffles his feet, sticks with him, covers ground with that step right there, and then rises high for the contest without fouling. It's good stuff. And then we'll lastly go over to passing. Obviously, I think as we covered, pretty well has things locked up at all three levels. Pretty incredible offensive prospect in terms of his movement, fluidity, instincts. He's got the goods, but can he parlay that into team success when he gets doubled, when things aren't falling? That's the million-dollar question. Nice pass here on the drive, little creativity, obviously probably looking for his own shot, recognizes guys in dunker spot, gets it to him for the flush. Again, getting out in transition, bringing the ball up the floor. Fighting for position down there. A little quick touch pass on the interior. Like that a lot. Keeps the head up. Probably looking to drive right here, but recognizes, I mean, he gets positioning right here. Recognizes he's open. Quick little touch right in the bread basket for an easy basket. Now, out of all the stuff we've seen today, outside of some of the like ridiculous handling at his size, this is something that excites me the most. This right here, I mean, he's got so much space to work with. He's got an arsenal of dribble moves. He's athletic. It could very easily be head down, go get you a bucket opportunity, but instead takes a dribble, recognizes he's got a back cut coming. This guy kind of falters a little bit, holds up, but still manages to get there. Final play of the quarter. Gets around his man with the behind the back. Ooh, keeps his head up, finds a dunker spot again. Same guy. This move is gross. Behind the back is nuts if he can do that consistently. What are we looking at? Crossover. Kind of a jam-packed paint. Still fighting for position. Could have easily gotten to a jumper there, but instead, again, sees that open dunker spot. Great vision. All things considered. Ooh, I mean, that's textbook right there. In the pick and roll. Gets the screen. Continues left, realizes he has both defenders, also realizes that his roller has been tagged. Whips it over to the open shooter for the three, goes down. If he can do that consistently, on top of maintaining his downhill attack, we're looking at potential 25, 5, and 5 guy in the big leagues down the line. It's going to have him left corner. Yep. Good look. Good look, good knock. Gets into the post up here. Look at the attention. All five players, all five defenders looking at him. Jam-packed right side of the court. Recognizes he's got corner shooter. Whips it over for, again, another easy bucket for his teammate. That's probably, maybe not to that level in college and pro, but that's going to be somewhat of the gravity that he's going to have if he really does pan out to be the scorer that we think he can be. So, again, being able to make these plays consistently is just going to be paramount to his development. And that's a great one. Good knock, 11. Good knock, 11. Has the ball top of the key. Hits the hezzy there. Gets downhill. Again, that first step for his size is pretty nuts. Realizes he's draped all over. Is that Darren Peterson? Oh my gosh. And then gets the easy kick out for another easy triple. Pretty fun stuff. Definitely Darren Peterson. Prolific prep point guard there. Do a couple more. Wrap it up. I like what I'm seeing on the passing end, and oh my gosh. Surely that was predetermined. That's probably a set. I mean, the guy's moving immediately on the inbound. 100% is a set play, but still, to have the wherewithal in the air, guy's still not even in position to get it to him directly under the basket. That's it. That's all she wrote. That was my first like legitimate session sitting down watching AJ Dybantsa. Fun time. Obviously great prospect. Obviously I glowed a little bit there, but again, he is number 1 at absolute minimum, number 2 ranked prospect per most in the world right now. So, and again, I'll be doing this for Darren Peterson, for Cam Boozer, for whoever you want really in the 2026 class. I'm excited to dive into it. I like this little time period before college where we get to see these guys kind of in their element as the dude. Anyways, that is it. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you watching.